Welcome back to another edition of the Las Vegas Real Estate Report. This is the June edition covering all the stats for the Las Vegas Valley for May 2022. My name's Jan O'Brien. I'm a team leader along with my partner Cosmo with this great group of local area experts. Make sure you reach out to anyone on our team to help you with all your needs in Las Vegas, Henderson, North Las Vegas, Boulder City, and Pahrump. On the agenda today, I'm going to cover all of Las Vegas stats, hit the four areas that we like to cover just as a comparison. Saying shift happens. The shift in the market is happening. I'm going to go into the details on that, where the opportunities are for you as a seller and a buyer, and what's happening with mortgage rates, right? So here's the housing snapshot. Where this is single family homes only. We hit yet another record for both townhomes and single family. 482,000 was the median sales price, up over 25% year over year. For single family, 285,000, that was up from like 275 the month before, but 39% year over year. Now, here are the single family stats, just to report this every month, just to get an idea of what's happening as we move forward. And we believe we're hitting the top of the market potentially if these trends that I'm going to report about today continue. But the sold prices are a trailing indicator. They lag behind a little bit because what this is representing is properties that went under contract 30 to 60 days ago, and they're now finally showing up in May. So these properties sold in perhaps April, maybe even March. All right. But this will make sense as we move along, but it's definitely been increasing from 435,000 since the beginning of the year. But these are the trends that we're starting to look at weekly. This is the weekly report that we have. So new listings gone from 2,900 monthly listings coming on the market, single family, to 4,033 in May. And then this is the amount of properties that are still available at the end of May, as of May 31st. Back in January, it was 1,821. So we have more coming on the market, but more staying on the market, which means less pending sales in the last month and a half. We had 3,570 homes on the market that did not have an offer. That's up 75.8% from the previous May, and it's actually up 46% from April. So that is a big indication of more homes on the market, less buyers buying at the moment, comparatively speaking, and that has a lot to do with interest rates, and we'll keep talking about all this as I move forward here. So I want to put into perspective this number of availability. So when we say the number of homes that were available in May is up 75% from the previous May, you really have to put it into perspective, right? So here is the previous May, and it's up 75%, but I've highlighted here on the chart pre-pandemic levels. We've been in such a hyper seller's market. This is where we need to get to really have, the demand slow down. There's more inventory than there is demand. And, right pre-pandemic, here's the $6,000 line. We were between 6,000 and 7,000 available homes that did not have offers back in 2019. Okay, 2018, 2019. So yes, it's moving up. Compared to last year, it's up, but we were in a crazy hyper market where, things were selling in hours. Now we're starting to see the days on market increase a bit, price reductions and stuff happening. I'll talk more on that just a second. So I like to show this chart also just to give that perspective of where we were and how we've basically doubled and more in median sales price, over 5-6 years here. Cash sales continue to tick up just a little bit, 33.6%. In the beginning of the year is about 30%. So that continues to stay strong. A third of the market plus is cash sales still. And short sales and foreclosures continue to stay low. It's going to take quite a bit for that number to really jump up, and it would have to be the perfect storm of so much inventory coming on the market that prices came down enough, because most people have equity, not everyone. If people have been behind and not making their payments, or they purchased their home just a few years ago, there's always some short foreclosures coming on the market. There's always some folks that having issues with their payments, but it's been consistently under right around 0.5% of the sales for quite a while now, and we'll continue to track that number as we move forward every month. All right, here's the headlines. I'm sure you've seen them. Las Vegas home sellers slashing prices as mortgage rates climb. That's exactly what's been happening. And this is where some opportunities are in the market. Also, if you're a seller and you're listening, it's possible that nobody knows exactly when we're at the top of the market till we're past it, as I just mentioned. It's a trailing indicator, but we definitely watch these stats every week and we can see those trends happening. And this is where we're starting to see this past month and into June now, a lot more price reductions, not as many buyers on the market, comparatively speaking, because of the interest rates. So we're seeing things like major price reductions happening, double and triple than we've seen, which is maybe bringing price, which will take a little while for us to see those numbers show up in the actual sold prices. But you get the picture of where we're going. I also want to talk about builders. Cosmo and I have been out looking at new homes and talking to builders. The builders have definitely started a bunch of incentives. We've talked to builders who are offering incentives like buying down the interest rate, covering 3% of closing cost, and they have homes. Most of the builders have what's called spec homes, meaning they have been building them in groups every month and they have them staggered. So there might be stuff that's available in the next 30, 60, 90, 120 days where they've already chosen the upgrades and the lot premiums and the prices are all in. When you go out to a new home track right now and you buy a lot, the dirt, and you choose the floor plan that you're going to put on it, that could be anywhere from 6 to 8 months up to 12 months before that home's ready for you. This is what's scaring a lot of buyers here locally and nationally, because no one's really sure where the interest rates will be here in a year. So there's definitely some incentives out there. We're projecting, and we've already started to see potentially some price reductions. The builders will go to reducing prices last. This is why they're offering incentives. They want to keep the continuity of people buying in there and keeping the prices if they can. They don't like to reduce the prices, but man, there are definitely some incentives. You need to reach out to myself, anybody on the team, and we can help you with that if you're thinking about purchasing new. If you're a buyer, new and potentially resales, we're just starting to see opportunities to negotiate, maybe get some seller incentives. That's just only going to continue as we move forward here in the market if these trends continue, which we are forecasting. If you are a seller, as I just mentioned, we may be coming to the top of the market, and a lot of sellers have not wanted to put their homes on the market because of the tight inventory issues. So there may be a great time here to get the best that you possibly can, maybe not as much as you could 3 or 4 months ago with as many multiple offers and so forth, but there's still opportunities to get the most equity out of your house, and then also maybe have a better opportunity to go put a deal together when you purchase a home. So there's definitely opportunities for sellers and definitely more coming for buyers finally. So let's go around the valley and compare this 482,000 median sales price for May with the other areas that we like to just cover so we can get an analysis of the valley. So Pahrump, our specialist out in Pahrump is Vicky. And in May, the median sales price for single family was $390. I checked the manufactured homes. That's about $230 or so. So there's a lot of manufactured homes and a lot more land available out in Pahrump. It's rural for the folks that like that area. That's where Vicky and her husband live. So 390,000 median, up 26%. Definitely more listings have come on the market there comparative to the previous year, up 32%. Summerlin is one of the higher end areas across the valley. There's several of them, but Summerlin, Dennis is our Summerlin specialist. The median sales price was $702,000. That was actually down a little bit from the numbers in April, which was around $722,000, 17.4% higher than the previous year. 146 units sold, down a little bit, but more inventory, 23% up. More listings came on the market from the previous year. Inspirada down here in the south Henderson part of the valley. John and Katie are specialists in that area and all areas of Henderson and Green Valley. 556,000, that's up 13.7%. And then over in Silverado Ranch, right here, this kind of area, Cosmo and I live in this area, and we're using not just Silverado Ranch, we really are using this whole area that's sort of in this triangle of 15 and 215 and St. Rose Parkway. 485,000 was the median sales price for that area that we're tracking, up 23.9%. So national housing, I've talked about this last month. Definitely talked about this on our TikTok channel. A recession doesn't necessarily equal a housing crisis. I really like this historical perspective where out of the last 6 recessions that we had, during four of them, home prices appreciated. Now, we all remember here, this was if you've been in the Valley for a while, like I have, nobody can forget the Great Recession, right? And what it did to Las Vegas. Almost 20% was the depreciation across the country. Well, that was closer to 60% here in Las Vegas. Personally dealt with that with a couple short sale homes, as I'm sure many of you did if you lived here during that time period. And the only other one was about 2% down during 1991. The conditions are so different right now than they were in the Great Recession, that we are not forecasting a major price change. Okay, so what the prices have gone up so quickly, they accelerated so quickly. What we've been slowly starting to see is a deceleration of how quickly, what the gap of how big these prices jump. That's what we're going to continue to see, and I believe an adjustment from these high prices, maybe down, maybe we'll see a dip in prices. It all depends on how many more properties come on the market, and how many less buyers buying. That gap is what's going to create those prices coming down a little bit. But are they going to, really come down here like 10%? A correction is a decline of 10% or greater for the price of any security, asset, or financial market. Well, everyone is projecting expert wise. We're not going to maybe appreciate 20% this year. So far this year, that's what we've been doing. But if we have this adjustment, maybe it becomes 9 or 10%. And that's what you see here in this chart, from anywhere from Fannie Mae to the Mortgage Bankers Association at a low of 5.8 for the rest of 2022. Somewhere right around 9% is what the experts are saying around the country. I believe that's going to be a little bit higher here in Vegas. So the prices are continuing to grow even through the years to come. Now we'll have to watch and track and see. And remember, recession doesn't necessarily mean a housing crisis. Mortgage rates, what's happening with them? Well, the mortgage rates generally make these adjustments, and they've done it twice now ahead of the Fed moving the federal funding rate up, which they did 75 basis points last time here in June. So we're hovering. They went up to like 6.2.8%. And as I record this, they're right around 6 again. So, the projection here is, are they going to continue to go up? We're going to have to watch and see that. We're certainly not going to see things anytime soon in the 3s and 4s again. But this is where negotiation comes in. This is where we're seeing things like the builders offering buy downs. This is where, when you're working with a real estate team that knows what they're doing here, we can help you if you're buying in maybe negotiating that interest rate or getting some points to be able to help with that. We'll see. More concessions, I think, are going to be coming to get properties moved. We're going to see more sellers, not just builders, willing to do that. But when you do check mortgage rates, make sure you are comparing everything, because they fluctuate daily and you can see 5.6, 5.5, but sometimes there's points, upfront points, discount points affiliated with that. And when you are shopping for rates, make sure you're checking with the lender to ask what all their costs are to be able to do the loan. All right, that's it. That's all for June. Definitely the shift is on. We track it every single week. Make sure you reach out to any of our local area experts to help you with all your local real estate needs. We're on YouTube. We're definitely on TikTok, where we do a lot more daily updates on what's happening in the market, real estate tips, showcasing areas of town and so forth. So we'll hope to see you over there, right here on YouTube, or make sure you get back to anybody on the team here who shared this video with you. That's it for now. I'll see you next month.